Hey guys, it's Rick. Welcome to the HDVIBE channel. If you'd like to see more tips, tricks, rides, reviews, installs on my Harley Davidson touring motorcycles, as well as information about motorcycles and the motorcycle community at large, please hit that subscribe button. And when you do subscribe, please leave a comment down below saying I subscribe so I can personally reach out and thank you for supporting the channel. Also, don't forget to hit that bell icon and select all so you do get notified every time I do put out new content. Today's video, I'm going to bring you something that I haven't had in my saddlebags, but I think is a critical item that we probably should carry in our saddlebags at all times, and it also has some alternate uses. And we'll get into it right after this. So guys, if you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I carry a number of items in my saddlebags. And I'll put a link down in the description as well as up here to a video that I covered as some essential items you need to carry when you're going on a road trip or really just out on your bike. And one of those things that I was missing was actually a portable air pump. I recently got this one. This is the Airmoto Smart Pump. So this is a rechargeable, essentially compressor that is really small in size, that can be carried on the bike, but it has a lot of other functionality that you could use it for on a lot of other types of things. And what I'm going to do is, one, show you what you get in the box, two, kind of show you some of the features of this particular air pump, and then we're going to put it to the test and we're going to air up the tires on the Harley Davidsons, and I'm also going to air up the tire on my Chevy Silverado. So what you get in the box, obviously this is the box, nicely boxed. You get the instructions, you get some additional attachments for sports equipment or inflatable type items, or in another connection here. You get the USB charging cable, which is USB to USB-C, I believe. You get the actual Airmoto Smart Pump itself, and then you get this nice storage pouch to put everything in so you can store it on your bike or in the car. In terms of size, this is pretty small. So it's about 6 inches this way. It's about 2.5 inches across and about 1.5 inches tall. So pretty small and compact. Again, it is rechargeable. You charge it with this. There is an indicator as to the level of charge. When I actually got it out of the box, it was almost completely charged. I charged it up for just a little bit longer and it went to 100%. So you might be asking yourself the question, how do you actually inflate something with this? Well, the actual fill tube actually stores right inside the unit. You take it out and then you screw it into this slot here. So you just twist that on there tightly, and then as you can see, this is a flexible hose, which is actually nice, especially for motorcycles. As you know, trying to get to those air valves on the tire sometimes can be challenging, and this is very flexible. And then it just has the screw type connection right here that'll screw right onto the bikes. So that's what you get in the box. So how to operate this thing? First, obviously you need to turn it on. So there's a little button in the center. You just kind of press and hold that down for about 3 seconds. And then that will go to on, and we'll actually show you some readings. So you hit this bottom button here, and that will flip you from car to motorcycle to bicycle to sports equipment, and then sort of free or your own settings, and that would be for like inflatables and such. So I've got it back on motorcycle here, and as you can see, there's a 38 on the bottom of the screen here. And what that 38 represents is a 38 PSI. And as you know, Harley Davidson front tires recommend 36 to 38 PSI on the front and about 38 to 40 on the back. So what you can do is you can actually preset where you want that PSI set. And then once you start it, connect it to the bike and start it, it will actually stop and read 38 up here on the top. If you press and hold this top button, there's actually an LED light on the top of this. So if you're trying to put some air in your tires at night or you have limited light, you can turn that on, give you a little bit more light to try to connect this hose up to your valve stem. And that's really a nice feature. And again, just press that button again and that will turn that off. So now let's hook this thing up to the bike and put it to the test. So as I suspected, my tire pressure is a little bit low. So my front on the Harley Davidson infotainment system here is showing 35 PSI, and my back is showing 37 PSI. So what I'm gonna do is at least show you the front. I wanna get that, I'm gonna run that up to 38 PSI. So what I will do is actually connect the smart pump and run that up to 38, and then we'll come back and check the infotainment system and see if it registers at 38 as well. Okay, so I'm gonna power it on. And we are set to motorcycle mode. As you can see, I've got it set to 38 PSI. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect it onto the valve stem. And it reads 35, just like the Harley Davidson TPMS said. So now we're gonna go ahead and turn it on. So you just push the bottom button there. And as it's going up, it will show the pressure. Now we're at 36, 35 and a half, 36, 37 and a half. And we hit 38, which was my preset PSI, and it shut itself off. So again, that was pretty quick. I would say that was to go up about 2 PSI. I don't even know if it took a minute, and it stopped right at 38. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is check. So we ran it up to 38 PSI on the smart pump. And when I initially connected, it said 35, just like the screen did. So let's see, after running it up to 38 PSI on the pump, and it read 38, what the Harley Davidson actually reads. And it is actually reading on my front tire 37 PSI. So off by about a pound. The initial measurement was 35 and 35 on both. So there's a slight differential. 1 pound, that could be just a little bit of leeway. But now what I'm gonna do is actually go out and also test this on my Chevy Silverado and see how long it takes to pump those tires up. Okay, so now I'm gonna actually test this smart pump on my Silverado tires. So I checked the tire pressure on the monitor in the truck, and these were actually at 32 PSI. I haven't driven the truck, and it's sitting out in the cold, so the actual pressure that these need to be at is 40 PSI. So I've gone ahead and moved this over to car mode. I put it up to 40 PSI. So now I'm going to connect this, and we'll see how this does on the truck. So this reads 33 PSI. So the truck said 32, so there might be about a 1 PSI differential. The same differential that I saw on the Harley Davidson. So, okay, so I've got it set in 40 PSI, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. And we'll see how long this takes to get this big tire pumped up. So we're at 33 and a half. This one might actually take a little longer. Obviously this is a big tire. We're at 34 now. Now it's at 35. Now we're at 36. Now it just hit 37. So now we're at 38. 39. Just hit 40. I'm going to run it up to 40 and a half. And it just hit 40 and a half and shut off just like it did on the Harley Davidson. So it's cold out here. I'm going to go back into the studio and we'll talk a little bit more about this. Pumping up the truck tire, again, I believe it was at 32 PSI, and I had to run it up to about 40 or 40 and a half on this. And there was about a pound differential in the reading from here to the truck. And on the final reading on the Harley Davidson, there was about a 1 pound differential as well. So what I found when I aired up the Silverado's tire is I ran this to 40 and a half, and the truck actually read 40. So there's probably about a ½ pound differential, give or take, which is not that unusual between different tire pressure monitoring systems. But overall, I mean, within 1 or a ½ pound difference, this is pretty good. It did take, again, for that from about 32 to 40 or 40 and a half PSI on the truck. It took about 5 minutes or so, maybe just a little bit longer for this to air up that one tire. So if your tires are low like those were, again, they've been sitting out in the cold, pretty low. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this for airing up all 4 tires if they're really low, but If you're doing your motorcycle, you're carrying this on your motorcycle, you just have a little bit of a top off on your air, or you're out on the road and you find one tire starts to get low and you have this in your saddlebag, I would say this is a good option. Again, the battery when I started on this was on green at a 100% fill, and so I put about, what was it, 2 or 3 pounds of air into the Harley tire, and I put about 6 or 7 pounds into the Silverado tire. Total running time probably around 10 minutes maybe between the two. And the battery, while it was still good, it was definitely going into the red zone, which is where it was getting pretty well drained at that point. Again, the battery reading right here, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, it shows as red. The LED light still comes on, so it still has enough power for that. So, I mean, overall, pretty good performance for a pretty compact little air compressor. Again, this is the Airmoto Smart Pump. I will have a link down in the description. This is not an affiliate link or anything like that, so I mean, if you guys are interested in this, go check it out. It works really well. I'm looking forward to just keeping this charged up, keeping it in the saddlebags, and when I need a quick top off when I'm doing my T-clocks, just have this available. It's a lot easier than dragging around a corded one, which I actually have one of those, but it's always a hassle, especially just to drag it outside or drag it to get it to the bikes to air up the tires. So I hope you guys like this type of content. If you do, please consider giving this a thumbs up. Also, share this with your friends if you think somebody might be interested in this product or the type of content that I put out. Also, consider subscribing. Most of the people that actually watch my videos are not subscribed. I think it's around in the 90% range. So if you would, hit that subscribe button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Nobody's tracking you. I'm not going to send you anything. But I really appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button to help get this content out to like-minded individuals. And with that, I want to leave you with this. Life is short. Get out and ride the bike. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye now.